And there we are. We're on. It works.
We're on.
Yay. Taylor, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you? I'm starting.
This is you froze. How are you doing this morning, other than freezing?
I'm doing all right. How are you doing?
Good. Where are you? Can I ask where are you at? Like, are you on your secluded island, or where are you at right now?
I am. I'm in Maine right now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now, can I ask you a Corona question? Like this island, does this island quarantined itself? Nobody else can. There's no Corona because you're like that's where I would go if the zombie apocalypse happened or whatever.
If only. I mean, I don't know anyone with it right now. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
But it is a good place to be because it is very isolated. So it's isolated in general. So that's good.
Good. So you're quarantining. We're in a mall, so it is like the zombie apocalypse. You played at our 95 Will Rock Studio East when we were in Pleasant Prairie. My co-host had to go get meat for your sandwiches, and you gave her the nickname Meat Girl, and it stuck. So I appreciate that Emily is now Meat Girl. We're in these studios in the mall here. We've got a performance stage here in the mall. So when the Pretty Reckless comes to town, we're going to ask you to play at a mall. But it's not like you're Tiffany or anything. You still get to rock out at the mall and stuff like that.
I like it. I like malls. I'm in.
Yeah, let's go to the mall. So the fourth album the fourth album was pretty much ready to come out when all this happened, right?
Yeah, we had finished it and we were preparing to go on tour, and then all this happened. We luckily got we did the photo shoots for the single cover and the album art and stuff right before, in New York City, right before this quarantine happened. So luckily we got that in. But no, we were supposed to be on the road right now. It's a bummer. Really missing playing live.
When we get a green light, you're pretty much ready to hit the ground right. You're talking about, is this the album cover? That's what you're talking about. It's our computer wallpaper in here.
Oh,
right?
Nice. Well, that's the single cover. Yes.
The single cover. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. So you're pretty much ready to hit the ground running. Have you guys set a date then for the album release and stuff like that, or?
We don't have an actual date yet, just because everything's so kind of up in the air right now with everything that's going on. I mean, these are very unprecedented times, to say the least. So we don't know exactly, but we do know that, obviously the single Death by Rock and Roll is out right now. We're trying to figure out how to do visuals right now for that. And there's going to be lots more music and releases and stuff before the actual album. So it's not like we're going to go radio silent again. So just stay tuned. Death by Rock and Roll is simply the tip of the iceberg.
Good. It's been a while. Does the rest of the album, we've been playing the song, it's a pretty much straightforward rock song. Does the rest of the album sound like that? What can you tell us about the new album?
Well, I don't want to give too much away yet because I don't know when it's coming out yet. And it's hard to talk about music before it's released, but I mean, if Death by Rock and Roll is any indication, it's a full-fledged rock and roll record, but there are a lot of dynamics and there's something for everyone. It takes you on a ride, to say the least. It's a journey.
Where did you guys produce the album at? Did you do it at a new place, or where did you produce it at?
Yeah, well, we actually recorded it at the studio in Maine with a guy named Jonathan Wyman, who is amazing, great friend of ours, really, really, really great. This is actually the first record we co-produced because we kind of had to build the pieces back together from the ground up. So in a lot of ways, this feels like our first album in the sense that we really threw everything we had at it. I mean, emotionally, mentally, physically, like it feels like a rebirth in a lot of ways. Pretty much 2.0.
And I'm kind of a personal rebirth, and I don't know how much you want to go into this or that. You've had a pretty rough run. You guys were out with Soundgarden when Chris took his life, and then, I mean, you've had other experiences like that, tragedies in your life. Is this like therapy for you? Finally getting this album out? It's been a pretty rough couple of years.
Yeah, rough couple of years, is to say the least. I mean, I don't want to get too heavy here, but yeah, I mean, the cliche is, I went pretty down there into depression and stuff for a while, and I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to get out of it. And the cliche is true. I mean, music saved my life again. Rock and roll saved my life. I delved into music, and really, that's what got me out of it. And this record's really a reflection of all of that. And
it's called Death by Rock and Roll, so it's kind of a 180 on. You want to explain the meaning behind that, because it saved your life, and the song is "Death by Rock and Roll" in the album.
Well, Death by Rock and Roll it's a battle cry for rock and roll. It's, you know, it's live life your own way, die your own way, freedom. You know, don't let anyone tell you any differently. Don't let anyone control your life. You're in control of your own life, and that's kind of the anthem line. I know it sounds really dark, but it's about living life your own way, going out your own way, rock and roll.
You mentioned that, you know, you said the word anthem. The song is, if we ever get sports going back again, this is going to be somebody's walk-up music in the NMLB, or this is going to be when they come skating out onto the ice. This is an anthem-sounding song, and it's probably going to be a big deal once we get out in public again for people to hear and party to. It really is.
I know we're dying to play it live. Like we're starting rehearsal, getting ready for tour, and like, it was sounding real good. It was looking so, I mean, we had some of the best touring lined up. It was like, you know, all the festivals and the Foo Fighters and Pearl Jam and Guns N' Roses. And it was like, everything's just on pause now for a minute. So, you know, luckily none of it's actually canceled. It's all just pushed. So we're just riding the storm out.
You still have the same stuff in place, and it's just looking like for a go time, basically. You're still going to do the same package and all that, right?
Exactly. Just
Good.
Once everything's safe and has calmed down a little bit, which it will. I mean, it's crazy times right now. I mean, who knows? No one knows anything. I don't know. I certainly don't. But I know that rock and roll needs to live and live music needs to live. And so, you know, musicians and fans, like, we'll find a way to make it happen.
Taylor, that's the touring end of it. You kind of have, it's weird, you kind of are on the opposite end of it as other bands were. This is a time where they were like, all right, we're stuck at home. Let's write some new music. Let's send it around. You already had a new album just sitting there waiting to be released. Did you still use this time? Is there going to be a second album? A lot of people say, like, there aren't going to be quarantine babies, but there's going to be quarantine music. Like, albums are going to be coming out like crazy. Have you guys done more of that now that you had all this spare time?
I mean, yes and no. I'm trying to stay in this mindset, because if I switch back into writing mindset, then that's a completely different world for me. So I'm trying to stay in, like, talking to you and promoting mindset or whatever of this record, because if I like I just said, if I switch back if I go inward again, then it's hard for me to juggle back and forth. They're kind of two separate things. So I'm trying to stay away from the writing right now.
Right. It's all this time, and so many bands are like, all right, let's write an album. Have you had a performing outlet? Have you done any performing things during this? So many other bands are doing that as well. Have you been able to get in front of people somehow, or, I mean, are you looking to? Or?
We're still trying to figure it out. I mean, this is my first Instagram live or I guess technically my second one ever. So we're trying to play catch up right now with the digital side of things. But yeah, I mean, I've done a couple of acoustic things. I did a Peace, Love, and Understanding for Fearless Records, for charity for Live Nation's Crew Nation, to help the crews right now, because obviously they're all out of jobs at the moment. So I've done a couple like acoustic things from home, but we got to figure out. I mean, I haven't seen the band, so we got to figure out how to. Right. You know, essentially, once we can get in a room together, even if it's just the four of us, then we can maybe set up some cameras and do some stuff, because it's hard. You can't play Death by Rock and Roll without loud amps and drums.
Right. A folk music version of you just on your island just doesn't quite cut it in your world. Well, that's.
I mean, we're figuring it out. We're playing it. We're learning as we go. Trying to.
Well, the Pretty Reckless is so much of a band vibe too. I mean, just get out and rock together like a band. You seem like a cohesive unit. Like, you really get along and you have fun. And we're looking forward to seeing you perform live. What have you been doing then to kill time? Are you binge watching things? Do you crochet? Are you bird watching? What are you doing?
There's definitely some bird watching. I mean, the wildlife in Maine is amazing, and that is one thing that's kind of beautiful about this whole quarantine, is you really are seeing the wildlife come to life. Like, I saw a little baby fox outside the other day that I never would have seen before, things like that. But no, I'm playing a lot of guitar, honestly, listening to a lot of music, and doing a lot of interviews. Yeah. You can be honest with me. Does it suck? I mean, interviews are like, I got to do an interview. Or now maybe it sucks a little less because at least it's something to kill time, you know? I mean, I don't think interviews suck ever. It's the it's the tech that sucks. Like I'm trying to play catch up with this whole thing, and it's just a little confusing to me, and it's just something to adjust to. But because like you're here, I see you, but you're not here. So it's
right.
I'm trying to wrap my brain around it. But no, it's fun to talk about it, and you know, once you put music out into the world, you want to share it. So it's great.
Yeah, well, you're doing really well. Listen, all honesty, you and me, it's my second Instagram live too. So I think we're nailing it. We really do.
I think we're killing it.
Yeah, all these hearts are going up on the side, so people are loving you. I don't get any hearts. I hope that's a technological thing, and at least I'm not getting any thumbs down. So I don't know.
I think the hearts just come up on the bottom of the screen. I think
right.
so. I think you're getting all the love too.
You know what? Thanks for saying that. Either way, I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
Well, I'm sending you all the hearts. So.
Oh, thank you. Well, that is special, right there. So you didn't get to perform the songs live after the album was out. You're like chomping at the bit to find out, you know, how they're received and stuff like that. Have you vetted the album through some other people then, family or friends? Are you secretly leaking it to anybody, and what are people thinking? I mean, there's people that you trust and love that have heard it, so you don't want to get in trouble by saying yes. Yeah.
It's been the running joke of we're just gonna leak the record,
right?
Which we're not, but I'm really excited for people to hear it just because it's such a journey. And when I say Death by Rock and Roll, the song is simply the tip of the iceberg. It really is. Like it's the first song on the record, and it takes off from there. Yep.
Well, if it goes up from there, it's great because that is a great new song. We played it this morning on the Tom and Emily Morning Show, and people were commenting about how much they loved it. So. It's definitely a good song. What about the rest of the record? Do you have any favorites when the record finally does come out? Should we listen? What else should we listen to? Do you have anything you? I know I'm asking you to pick a favorite kid here, but
well, it's favorite kid, and we haven't released the full track listing yet. Like some of it's gotten some. I'll talk about some of the things that have kind of leaked out. I mean, we did a song with Matt and Kim from Soundgarden called "Only Love Can Save Me Now," and that I can't wait for people to hear that. That's one of my favorites on the record, and. There's another song called "And So It Went" with Tom Morello on it, which is pretty stellar. So I don't want to give too much away yet, but that's all right. So just stay tuned. It's in my opinion, it's the best thing we've ever done. So.
And do you have a solid release date, area, timeline, or what are they? What's the plan? Do you have any idea yet or not?
I don't know. Everything's so kind of crazy right now still. I mean, hopefully not too long. Hopefully soon. Like I said, there's gonna be multiple singles, so there's gonna be more music coming, and kind of teaser tracks in between that. And like I said, we're trying to figure out visuals right now, that's really hard for me because the whole thing with when you finish a record, you really want, you know, playing live is a huge part of completing that circle. You know, you write the songs and you record the songs and you rehearse the songs, and then live is the full circle. The other side of that is the visual aspects of it, of videos and all that, which completes the circle. So being kind of limited to what we can do in those cases right now is a bit of a struggle, but we're working on it. We're gonna figure something out.
All right. Maybe homemade videos. They did SNL from home. You could do
exactly.
You know,
who are we to complain? Everyone's in the same boat, so we're just,
right. That's true.
We're a little slow on the uptake, but we're getting there.
we're all in the same storm. We have different boats. I'd rather be on Jeff Bezos's boat than in my rowboat. But but we are all in the same storm. And part of it is we haven't gotten to hear the new full new album, the Death by Rock and Roll from the Pretty Reckless. But we love the single. Taylor, I know you got other people to go talk to. I so much appreciate you taking the time. When you get to Chicago or Milwaukee, we got a mall stage right here. I'm going to buy you a pencil. Yeah.
Love it. I'm there and so excited. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support and everything. Like, this is such crazy times, and to see the reaction, we didn't know what to expect putting this out, and to see the reaction be so positive is just, it's overwhelming, honestly. Like, I don't even know how to feel about it. So really, thank you.
All right. Taylor Momsen from the Pretty Reckless, Death by Rock and Roll, out soonish, hopefully. The single's out now. We love it. And enjoy your bird watching and then fox watching in Maine. Thank you for talking to us today.
All right. Stay safe, man. I'll see you soon.
You too. Bye-bye.